Hey guys, so today we're gonna kind of look at and maybe have a discussion about, Messi's dribbling technique. So one thing I want to point out first is, there's a lot of good dribblers out there. Eden Hazard, Mbappe, Ousmane Dembele, Griezmann, but none of them are at Messi's level or even like that close to Messi's level. And watching games, I see like players like they do the inside cut or like a feint, and it does kind of look like Messi's, but I think the magic is in the details. For example, like how high you jump, how to twist your foot, and all that. Because like when I see these players, even sometimes they do these dribbles. It doesn't seem as effective as when Messi does it, and I kind of want to discuss why. So, first, part of the discussion, I want to play this clip with Messi versus Boateng. You've seen my previous videos, for like many months, almost like a year. I've been just like, I was just doing this dribble until I, could imitate it, exactly. And so I'll play the clip just as a reminder. Okay, so just like as an overview, so as Messi dribbles, like there's a couple things here. First is non-dribbling foot. It comes like just slightly in front of his body, like over there. A lot of times when I imitate it, it's kind of there, and he is dribbling at a decent pace. So you see that like leg, it elongates, and he kind of like hits the ball like either at the apex of the jump or on the way down. I think it's a little bit better on the way down. He kind of like you see hits with the outside of the foot, and you see kind of like turns in like this, and then and one thing it's kind of hard to see here. He kind of like jumps up, but like as he hits it, he kind of stomps his foot down. Um, Now, it's important to gauge how like fast Messi's actually dribbling the ball because doing it a bit slowly, is still fairly effective. But when players want to mark you harder and defend against you better, especially if they know you have some skills, it is a bit hard to do it slowly. But when you do it um, like you get all these components right. The hop, like the elongated leg, hitting the ball on the way down, and then turning your foot and really stomping that leg down. That's important, and dribbling this way. I think I have a kind of theory because since Messi's such an outlier and like nobody like is at his level in terms of dribbling, these kind of things aren't really noticeable. So when you dribble this way, it's actually pretty awkward. And, like it feels pretty awkward. Like you're essentially just driving with your non-dribbling foot, and you're not really like using this foot to spring forward. Essentially, all this does is just control the ball, and you just stomp down with your leg like this. And also, one thing I want to also mention is when you do the feint, you generally keep your legs fairly close together. Sometimes, like, it's easy to try and, go early, like, at this point, like, kind of go out this way. Um, but, once you get the components right, that's what it kind of looks like. And, keep your body upright, your shoulders relaxed, and just have that drop, and then off this way. So, I've done this kind of dribble many times, but I do want to tell a story. Like only one game or scrimmage, I actually did it at this pace. Like like fairly like decent pace. I'm not just like I know sometimes when you dribble, it kind of feel like you're maybe going this way, but Messi is actually dribbling at a fairly fast pace. He's not sprinting, but I'd say it's like a fast jog. So one time I did it this way, and like I've done like this dribble like quite a few times before, and there's this one player that he always marks me, and he generally if he concentrates hard, he can like avoid me going past him. But this time I um, did it in this manner, and like I was going fast. I had all the right components, especially when you like bend your leg. I know it looks subtle, like why would it matter you do this, but like for whatever reason, it is very important. It makes the feint all that more effective, bending that leg and stopping that ground. And I just did that feint. Like this player, you know, generally he's pretty good at it, and he like went and like just like flew over that way, and like I was off, and you know, the whole field is looking at me like, oh wow, like, and again, it's not like I've never done a feint before, like this kind of feint, but I never done it in this manner before, like we're all with all the right components. So, you know, what I want to do is like look at Messi's other dribbles, and you know, kind of really break down the magic. All the like, I think the devil's in the details, like what I mentioned, like all the things were like of, you know, the timing of his jump when he hits the ball. Does he stomp his leg down and all that? So we'll take a look. So here's a clip of Messi dribbling, and kind of like doing almost two feints, one like kind of like a shallow feint and then a larger feint to get around the player. So I'll play the clip first. Okay, so unlike, you know, like the Messi Boateng feint, I find like this dribble's better. Like if you like, it's a bit of a tighter space, and you know, have like all this place to like dribble and like do that kind of one. So if you see Messi hit the ball, you see like, you know, his foot's still on the ground, and he's not like jumping like on the way down. He's like almost going on the way up. So I find like what you have to do here is like almost do two feints. So again, see here, this kind of looks subtle, but it like when you do it, it like actually does feel like a feint. And then you do it again, and this is when you get closer to him, you actually do a more like of an aggressive feint over there, and then go, you know, kind of like around the defender this way. So for comparison, here's how I did it. Okay, so this is kind of like behind the scenes. You know, this is what I do just to study myself, and then when I make a conclusion, I might make a video. But I'll kind of like we'll go through my process. I'll kind of like go frame by frame and like see what's different between me and Messi. So I know the camera angle is a little different, but you can kind of get a sense what I'm doing versus him. So you see how Messi first hits the ball. It's kind of like with the laces. And like then again, see he kind of does turn that ankle in still. So when you see me do it, like again, I kind of like doing it with the outside of the foot. Again, I don't think it's that big of a deal, but what you do notice after is quite a bit of a difference. So here is Messi going on, and then, you know, as I come, you see like my leg is starting to be a lot more wider. And then this is where Messi plants his leg like over there. So I kind of go a little too wide this way, like this, where Messi's leg is kind of a bit more over there. And then, you know, I kind of like imagine like there's a defender right there. But so like as I come over and like, oh, this is what I prepare to do my aggressive feint. So as Messi touches the ball there, I should have made sure my leg was a bit bent, which I did, and my body was upright, just like Messi's. But see, as he touches again, see, this is actually where it looks similar, because, you know, it's almost similar to like the Messi Boateng for me, because like I've kind of like try to mimic it so much, but see Messi's leg, it's still fairly together. I think mine is not a little too far apart. It's not as far as I've done in the past, but that's just one thing to note. And again, this is like an aggressive feint where, like, you know, I really extend that leg there, and I drop my shoulder, and then I go off. So you see my body positions and the leg positions versus Messi's. You know, it does look fairly similar. So one thing I want to notice is also how fast we touch the ball. So here, you know, we go on, you know, Messi's already at the ball. One thing to notice, you see my arms, it's kind of like stationary, because I don't think I was focused on really, like, you know, quickly going over there. So you see Messi's arms, you know, initially it's, you know, kind of like in the similar position as mine, but you see that like arms swing over there, you know, and, you know, mine kind of just like stays frozen. Like he's really like trying to like spring and be quick, and then you see like as Messi plants his foot, his like left leg is already like, or sorry, his right leg is already there. And then mine's kind of legs behind, so that's another subtle movement I gotta kind of correct. Now, one thing I want to notice is like you see Messi's like first like shallow feint. This is his starting position. You see his right foot. It's kind of like twisted in this way, so that's a little peculiar. Messi normally has his like foot like pointed straight, but since he's planning already to feint over this way, like. Because if he had his like foot already planted straight, as soon as he feints, it's like the way I describe it is you feint there, and then you do a more of a sharper like turn this way. So since like he doesn't plan to turn sharply at like the first one, like it only goes like more or less straight or like slightly to the side. It's only the second feint where he does that like he really like you see that foot is now pointed more like. Even like a bit more to the outside or straight. Like at this point, this is where you like do that like aggressive feint, and then you can really sharply turn over there. So I think that's also another thing I can explore and mimic is like when I do my first feint, like just to prepare so I don't like spread my legs too far apart when I do the feint, and put my foot in like a better position, which is like over here rather than out there. Is to also like twist kind of like my foot in initially for the first feint, that is. Now it's kind of similar to we'll see in a bit, but like a lot of times Messi, like when he like first like knocks the ball forward, like I see a lot of times he takes his non-dribbling foot and he like kind of crisscrosses this way. So initially, like I wasn't too sure why he did that. I thought that was maybe like maybe he just wants to change the angles of like how he approaches the defender, so he has to react to him. But I have a feeling maybe he crisscrosses because as he runs. And again, it's kind of subtle. Like he wants to like almost do a feint as he does this run, because like at this point rather than have his foot pointed there, if he like also like has his leg more or less like this, he can kind of like run onto the ball and then like because he's already turned this way, turn out that way, and then like as a result, it's kind of the first feint. Is still at the defender, and then that can prepare for the second feint, which is sharper, and then he can make more of an aggressive turn. Here's a clip where Messi actually does the crisscross and does a feint. Okay, so you see as Messi breaks free and then comes here, you see that non-dribbling foot, kind of like comes into the inside of his body like this, and then he takes the ball. I think he sees like the defender lunging in, so he actually does more of an aggressive feint out this way, like this. Otherwise, I think he would have just done a shallower feint to maybe about there, and then touch the ball again and maybe did another feint to get over there. But you kind of also see the same principles again, like it's where you like see his legs are like almost like right together, and then as he comes out, then he swoops out like this. So again, all these little details. So I think what I'm trying to start to do is like kind of imitate his runs, and then try to get all like the details right, the jumps, the foot positions, the timings, and even the speed right now, because as soon as I break through the defender, he's not just gonna let me go. He might truck me and like try to push me off. So I also gotta try to be a bit more agile as well. One shot, that's all you got. Take it right now before you get lost. Yeah, one shot, that's all you got. Write your own story, you control the plot. Yeah.